Yo, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody. The Ringside Beer Show.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Dude, I am so excited to get this episode going. We have so much content from over the weekend. Let's get into it, man.
Let's get into it, man.
We have breaking news. Just happened today, maybe like a couple hours ago. Just
fresh off the print.
Fresh off the print. So you want to get started?
Oh, my heart's beating a little bit. Okay.
Let's get going.
So the breaking news. John Jones relinquishes the UFC light heavyweight championship. In quotations, it's officially up for grabs. End quotations.
Yes, and this is by themaclife.com.
They seem to know everything.
Dude, it just broke today. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, John Jones is relinquishing his title. That's he hasn't done that since you won it.
Unless they're taking it away. But he's never given it away.
Yeah, no.
So it's such a it does free up the division.
Yeah. And
it does kind of make for a more interesting time, and it does also pave the way for John to make other moves. But I have my own theory to this.
Yeah. We'll continue reading because there's more to this. There's more to the article. In themaclife.com by Oscar Willis. He says, John Jones, who has dominated the weight class of 205 pounds since his arrival to the UFC, announced today he was handing the belt to the UFC and would no longer look to defend it as champion. He apparently plans to walk away from the sport until the UFC agrees to an increase in pay.
Jones has made it clear recently that he was interested in a move to heavyweight, something he's long teased, but only if the UFC would increase his fee. Up until now, UFC President Dana White has publicly stated he wouldn't be willing to meet Jones' demands, but that he was waiting to hear back from his champion about the next contest.
Yeah, it seems the two were unable to come to terms.
Yeah,
and that was pretty much the entire article from themaclife.com.
This is like extremely interesting for the sport, the division.
Yeah.
For all fight fans, like, this is crazy news right now, and it just so happens to come after DC lost. Yeah. But we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll get into that later on in the episode, but still continue the John Jones breaking news.
Let's continue.
So this is his tweets leading up to this article. John Jones tweets, his first tweet was...
First tweet, I just got off the phone with the UFC. Today I confirmed that I'm vacating the light heavyweight championship. It's officially up for grabs. It's been an amazing journey. Sincere thank you to all my competition, UFC, and most importantly, you fans.
Yes. A second tweet that he posted right minutes right after, he says, the last I spoke with the UFC about my salary, there was no negotiating. If there ever changes, I'd love to come back and compete again as a heavyweight. Until then, I'll be enjoying the UFC as a fan and doing my best to take care of my family and community.
And then the last tweet, it came about 5 minutes after that.
Yeah.
In good faith, I will be staying in the testing pool for probably the next half year or so, and I'll continue to lift weights and train all the different martial arts.
Yeah. And those were just right back after back after back. Like, he was just posting within minutes of each other.
In a 14-minute span.
Yes.
So... it was actually really quick news. It just kept coming out, that we were starting to gain more information.
Yeah.
And I know I was on it. I couldn't put my phone down because I just wanted to continue to see how this unfolded.
Yes.
And I would say just a couple minutes after that last tweet, he posted another one.
The second one on the top.
Excuse me. Posted two.
He posted two right after this. So the first one, he says, just got off the phone with the UFC. Today I confirmed that I'm vacating the light heavyweight championship. It's officially up for grabs. It's been an amazing journey. Sincerely, thank you all to my competition and most importantly to you fans, which is essentially the same thing he posted on the third one.
Yeah, I think we just posted a picture of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this last tweet that came out was... just had a really positive conversation with the UFC. Sounds like there will be negotiations for my next fight at heavyweight. All good news. The weight gaining process begins.
I wonder if all those tweets were a play to get the fans behind John Jones to give him, put pressure on the UFC.
It's definitely
I think that's what it was.
a portion of what it was. It was definitely a ploy to gain some traction, some leverage, some movement in those negotiation talks. I mean, he's been clear for months now that he wants more pay. He wants fighters to get paid more. And then the news came out where Dana White said that it's either you face Dominic Reyes at light heavyweight or you move up to heavyweight. And I think that was Dana White holding on to his leverage, saying, hey, look, we're going to pay you what we pay you. You're still under contract, so you could fight at this, at this weight, light heavyweight, against the next contender, who is Dominic Reyes, because he deserves a rematch for sure. They deserve to run it back.
That was such a good fight, too.
Or you can go to heavyweight, and we can negotiate about it.
I 100% agree with you with that. I think that was a play on both parts, because John Jones saying he was going to release the belt, that made bigger news than what UFC 252 just happened this weekend. That card was amazing.
And that's the other portion of the angle that Johnny Bones Jones was working. Was, look at what I can do to your retirement party, Daniel Cormier. I can literally change the whole narrative of the last couple days with several tweets.
Yeah. And this is making more buzz, more headlines than the UFC 252. Even I'm not saying that 252 wasn't good. It was amazing. It was probably one of the best cards this year.
Yeah.
But John Jones releasing his belt, that made major news.
It just creates so much buzz and so many questions for the UFC that fans are now engaged right now, more than ever. Yeah. At least I know I am. I know you are as well.
Definitely.
This has been such an exciting process because we got to start this podcast while there's so much content for the UFC. Yeah. So we literally have so much stuff to cover. Sometimes we won't even cover it all, but we're going to try.
Yeah, we're going to try. And this breaking news of John Jones just happened maybe minutes ago. So hopefully we will have this podcast up and ready for you today or something.
Yeah, no, the goal is to have it out tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
And today is Monday. Yeah. So if we can have it out tonight, we're going to pump it out. I'm going to do my best with my portion, and Alex has already done his portion. So
yeah. Well, let's move on from the John Jones to some unexpected current events, man. Khabib had an interview.
He had an interview
over the weekend.
I'm not exactly too sure where, but I watched a little bit of it where they were able to translate, and it's interesting what he said. But the gist of what he said was Khabib says McGregor or Ferguson must beat Dustin Poirier to fight him.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because Khabib has always said if I'm going to give McGregor a rematch, he must fight 10 guys.
10 times.
10 times in order to fight me. But now he's just saying one dude, which I would think Tony Ferguson or McGregor would hop on that and be like, yo, that is the short line to the top,
I think what concerns me the most is how did we go from George St. Pierre back down to, McGregor or Tony Ferguson or even Dustin Poirier?
I think for the money, to be honest.
There's more money for GSP, bro.
Well, GSP is not going to come out of retirement. He's done.
So he says. I mean, it was just 12 months ago he did that practice weight cut. I don't see him not taking that fight against Khabib.
What would make it interesting? Maybe Khabib is saying, "Hey, McGregor, Ferguson versus Dustin Poirier." But if not, dude, McGregor versus Tony Ferguson, dude. If they ended up fighting each other,
yeah. Well, it has to happen.
Dude.
Eventually, it's all going to have to happen.
I kind of
as long as these guys stay active. And as long as McGregor stays involved in the division, it's going to happen where these guys are just going to continuously rotate and shuffle. Because I don't know if that number one spot will remain once Justin Gaethje wins.
Well, this is also...
Once Justin Gaethje wins.
Well, we'll see. I was just getting to that because he still has to fight Gaethje.
Yeah, he does.
And... to kind of overlook Gaethje, dude, Gaethje is going to be a tough fight for Khabib.
But we're talking about Khabib here. He thinks he can maul anybody.
Yeah.
So he's going to take that mindset, especially now with, his father not being there. He's...
Yep. I wonder how much is that going to take into place for the Khabib fight versus Gaethje in October. I really wonder how much of that is going to take part in the cage. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's just going to only enhance Khabib.
You think so?
Dude, he's got, I don't know, it's just something about that type of scenario that will cause somebody, at least in my eyes, to just gain that extra oomph, that extra something to fight for, that extra push, you know. Now, some can look at it as a heavy heart and, you know, a little heavy baggage going into the fight.
Yeah.
But the importance of what Khabib's father was to him, I think, is going to play a completely different role to where now he has a legacy to live up to and something to prove. Like, hey, you know, my father's not here, but he's looking down on me, so let me continue to be great and let me add that extra oomph, you know, for my father. So I feel that's the angle that's going to happen in that Justin Gaethje and Khabib fight.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen. Now, do I think Khabib's going to win? I do like Justin Gaethje. Just purely for stylistic, you know. But like I've said before, I'll say it again, and I'm going to say it the next time. I pick on impulse, emotions. You know, it's such a wild world to be in for the fight fans, and so I just want to see him fight.
I like cut. This current update of Khabib. Like, there's no more long line. Like, dude, now McGregor, Tony Ferguson, you guys beat Dustin Poirier, you guys can get me. But I wonder, if Dustin Poirier wins, would he give Dustin Poirier another shot at the belt?
If Dustin Poirier continues to win against the top contenders,
like a McGregor,
like a Ferguson, like just anybody else that continues to, you know, push their way up to the top,
You think Khabib will give him a shot?
Yeah. That's if Khabib continues to fight. This is how I see Khabib's next couple of fights happening. I see Khabib fighting Justin Gaethje. I see him fighting GSP because it's all about the money. That's the one fight his father wanted to see. The UFC feels so, you know, close to Khabib. They've made him so much money. I honestly see them getting that deal done. If I'm not mistaken, GSP signed a deal to be a UFC commentator now, right?
I actually didn't even hear that. Where did you hear that?
I saw a congratulations post on Instagram saying welcome aboard. I can't remember who it was from. If you guys can comment down below, help me out. I would appreciate that.
Dude, there was so much MMA news. Like, that must have just like fallen under my radar.
Yeah, no, it had to have been a couple of days ago. But yeah, no, I seen something like that.
Damn, you think they're gonna have him right next to the belt, like right there in the commentating on Khabib's fight?
Give him a little money.
Khabib hops over the fence and be like, "I want you."
Oh, I want you,
dude. That's genius.
I didn't even think of that until you said that. I just put 1 and 2 together
because you know normally
and that equals 3.
Yeah, 1 plus 1 equals 3.
1 plus 1 and another 1 equals 3.
Dude, because normally fighters will find their opponents in the what do you call it? In the fan area, like where everyone's sitting like in the audience,
right at the front,
right in the audience. They create a little buzz. But if GSP's commentating on Khabib's fight and Khabib goes to the fence and talks to him, and I want you next.
It kind of has that DC Brock Lesnar-esque thing where, you know, we all knew Brock Lesnar was going to get called out after that fight.
Yeah.
And then DC's like, I want you. You know, like that's how I feel it's going to happen. But once he fights GSP, I think he'll retire. Because you don't get no better than that unless they throw McGregor at you. But McGregor has to do a couple more things to get that Khabib fight. At least in my eyes, you cannot just give him that rematch.
Yeah.
You cannot.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm not saying 10 times. I'm saying 2 more fights.
Maybe. But I like Khabib saying this.
Don't fight a Cerrone. Fight a Ferguson.
Because if
fight a Poirier.
If GSP doesn't take it, then these are going to be his next fights.
And that's ideal. Yeah. Now, if GSP doesn't take that fight, I do see Khabib staying in it for a little while. Because then he'll maintain the dominance of the division. This is just hypotheticals. Because who knows? Conor might hit that left. Ferguson might actually do the thing because I expected that to happen.
Yeah.
Like if Ferguson and Khabib fought, I'm taking Ferguson.
I don't know.
I love it.
After the Gaethje fight, I'm like, I don't know. But you know what? He was training for someone else, though. Bro. Exactly. He was training for someone else. He was training for Khabib. Right. Khabib pulled out, and Gaethje, slipped in there.
Khabib is going to shoot. That is how it goes.
Yeah.
And Ferguson likes to be on his back. He likes to slice you up. So I think it's stylistically a lot better of a fight as per se Gaethje and Ferguson.
Yeah.
Because that's just pure striking,
Yeah.
It's just a match of blows.
Well,
so that's just me.
Yeah, man. Well, let's get right into it. Let's get our word from our sponsors, and then we'll continue with a UFC 252 recap.
Absolutely. So, Ringside Beer, since 2012, committed to bringing fight fans quality lagers and ales. Brewed in Anaheim, California, Orlando, Florida, and Queensbury, New York, Ringside Beer is proud to offer fresh beer in both 16-ounce cans and on draft. Look for our flagship American-style lager, Irish-style red ale, or any of our other beers in your area. Shop at ringsidebeerstore.com for t-shirts, hats, and tap handles. Get in touch at ringsidebeer.com. Get in the ring. Be ringside. Ringside Beer.
Yes. All right, man. Here, let's get to the meat of this show.
I kind of don't want to get to this part.
Oh,
I'm a little sad. I'm a little sad.
Oh, we have to start off with this. All right. A lot of stuff happened, and MMA gods were not nice to us.
No,
which is funny because this is the first time we do this on our show, and normally we do okay with our picks.
Right.
Normally. But there was a lot of things that happened during this fight that were not normal.
Yeah, no, this is a one-off, guys, okay? This is a one-off, so...
Well, hopefully the next fight we pick...
I'm trying to speak it into existence, bro. It was just one of those nights where, who you thought was going to win, did not win, and...
Crazy upsets,
and some crazy decisions. Just lots of things. It was great.
Yes.
Not for my scorecard though.
So we both only got 2 out of the 6 correct. And I remember on the previous show, I said I hope for 4 out of 6 at least because I wasn't confident about 2. I wasn't confident Felice because she was the underdog of that card. We said that she could pull it off. But
I said it was the potential sleeper card of the prelims.
Yeah.
Of the actual fight, and it wasn't. Nowhere near.
It ended in the first round by submission, but it was...
I don't consider that the sleeper fight of the card.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, I just got with someone else. But anyways, Felice lost. And then on my card, I also had Sean O'Malley,
that was a big one,
who lost in the first round. I mean, and we talked about it too. We definitely said that Chito Vera could win this fight. Like it wasn't like, hey, Sean O'Malley was going, but we were going with we hopped.
And I'm not really buying into the controversy that Sean had a injury prior. What I'm thinking is literally it's just the style of fighting that he had. And Chito Vera did a lot of damage to that leg, which caused him to be that leg's just not. It just wasn't there.
Well, we can get into that when we hit at the co-main event. But yes, Sean O'Malley lost. What was the other card?
JDS lost. I was not expecting that to happen. That's one of the fights that he got right. I got wrong.
Yeah, I definitely saw Rosenstruck winning that fight. It was going to eventually be who lands first, but for some reason I was just thinking Junior Dos Santos is just long in the tooth. He's been in the game for so long.
I don't know. I was buying into the refreshed JDS, the renewed,
Yeah. But that was another fight that it could have gone either way, though.
Yep.
That was 100%. That was like a 50-50. Whoever wins it will win it, and that's that. We couldn't really predict as we were so, what do you say? We couldn't decide who was going to win.
Very undecided. Sure, yeah.
The one we both thought was going to win and didn't was Burns.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
Well, we made the pick
for the pick, not for the guy who won.
No,
definitely for the guy who lost.
Yeah, let's get into that one because Burns. We chose Burns to win the fight before we saw the weigh-ins.
Yes. Now, and I was like sold.
So. Let's get it right into it. It says Daniel Pineda, he 7 years off or 7 years since his last fight. Burns was been on a tear. He's fighting more consistently.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened leading up to the fight where he came in overweight. And normally when that happens, I choose the opposite opponent because there's something that happened in that camp. Normally the people that come in overweight don't win. So yeah, I did not know this when I made the pick, or else I would have gone with someone else.
Well, 3 pounds is a lot. 2 pounds, okay, what's going on here? 1 pound, 10%, no problem. But 3 pounds coming in, it's like, okay, either you didn't respect your opponent, something happened.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe
combination of the two.
He had some kind of injury. I have no idea, but 3 pounds would have been like, oh, I'm not picking this guy, even though he was a favorite in Vegas eyes. When you become overweight,
there's an issue.
There's an issue. So
yeah, big issue.
I did not anticipate that one.
No, yeah, I didn't anticipate it either. But hey, that's what happens when you lock 2 guys in a cage.
Yeah.
Close the door, and give them 3 5-minute rounds.
Yeah, and the next one you won was Stipe, and I chose DC.
I knew it.
Now, well, hold on. That was also another pick'ems fight. We did,
I knew
straight up. Well,
hey, I got the pick right, so I am boasting, bro. I told you. No, I just look when you're. I mean,
Stipe definitely came in a lot leaner for this fight.
He weighed more though, didn't he?
Well, not leaner.
He just looked better,
a lot more toned. He looked like he actually put a lot more work into this fight,
right?
Fitness wise,
right.
So that was we made the picks right before the weigh-in. So,
but even then, there wasn't much there to. Once again, it's still going to be a pick'em fight.
Yeah, that one was definitely.
They both have one over the other. Their styles match up well. It's either which way would have been a pick'em fight, but I just felt that DC had too much going on with his retirement, that he was half in, half out. Because this is how I look at it, dude. When you get put to the test, and this is the last of anything, and you're like, I mean, after this, I'm kind of good. I got all this money. That drive right there, you don't have that competitive edge to continue to push through it. You're just kind of like, I acknowledge that, hey, I'm losing right now. I'm just gonna.
Man, I have a completely different view from that. I saw it as, hey, this is my last fight, 100%. I'm gonna go out on top. And he's been talking about the whole time. He was just like, hey, man, I'm gonna land on top. And he has one win over Stipe already. He studied him. The one thing he didn't. I
got such a great rebuttal.
That
was before they fought. As soon as they got into the cage and started swinging, I just had this feeling that Cormier was like, no matter what I do, this guy's just got it over me. If I don't land this, this little knockout punch, like I'm gonna lose. And so I could just see the soul diminishing a little bit, bro.
All right, let's continue that when we get to the main event part of the show.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God, we got so much to talk about. All right,
we really do.
So a performance of the night and fight of the night. And did you check this one out? Fight of the night was Kamaka versus Kelly, and this was the first fight on the UFC 252 early prelims.
I was in the pool, and I had this nice little setup where I had my PlayStation outside where I was playing the actual fights on ESPN Plus, and it was so cool because I'm drinking, sitting in the pool, enjoying myself, watching the fights. And then fight of the night happened.
Dude, this was the first fight, and I was just like, wow, if this is the first fight, I wonder how good the whole card is going to be.
Sets the bar,
definitely.
Really does.
And I have a little cheat sheet note. I had, while I watch fights, I kind of write down little notes, and I wrote down fight of the night ? And it's so funny that they ended up giving them fight of the night.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can kind of tell, even though it's the first fight, you can kind of tell, wow, if nothing meets this, if it doesn't meet this standard, it's not fight of the night.
Yeah, Kamaka did an excellent job in the first round. Kelly made the adjustments in the second round and was landing bombs. I was like, dude, it was going back and forth, and then at the end in the third round, they both gave it all they got, and Kamaka got the decision win. But oh my God, it could have gone to either both gentlemen. It was such a great fight.
Yeah,
if you guys
really
missed it, that was the very first card, early prelims. You can check it out on ESPN Plus. It was amazing.
Yeah, check it out. Go find it on YouTube. Something. I mean, you guys can see it for yourself. You judge if it was the fight of the night. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, to me, it was fight of the night. But everyone has their own opinion. You could give fight of the night to the main event.
Me and you do have two different pair of eyes. Look, bro, I'm wearing glasses.
Well, hey, man.
Some people need a little help with what they see.
Well, let's go on to a performance of the night. Daniel Pineda. Dude, he pulled off the... I don't know if I would... Yeah, the upset. Because we were talking about it because it was like 7 years out of the game. Comes back to fight a favorite in Burns. And he pulls the win off. Oh, my God, dude. I was really cheering for him. And, yes, we were proven wrong.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if we're betting guys, I don't think anybody would have bet otherwise before they knew the weigh-ins.
Yes.
But...
Dude, congratulations to Daniel.
With all that being said, weight cut and all, congratulations, Daniel. Welcome back, dude. We're glad to have you. We want to see more.
Dude,
bring the heat.
Oh, my God. You pulled up the upset. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we like to see there.
And
even if we got to lose a little money for it.
And the second performance of the night that the UFC gave was to Virna Jandiroba.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Well, forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, but she's the one who submitted Felice in the first round. Which we
got wrong as well.
Yeah.
But all credit to Virna. She did a really good job. Felice is, not an easy out. She had potential to continue to, climb back up to the top. So to see this this fighter come in and do that type of work to Felice in that manner in that quick time.
Very quick.
Let's see her, give her somebody else a little bit more, with a little more juice, a little more,
higher in the rankings.
Yeah, a little more higher in the rankings. Give her some competition. Keep it going. Yeah. She might be on heater.
Dude. Great, guys. Performance of the night and fight of the night. I agree with those from the UFC. Next up. All right, let's go into the co-main event of UFC 252.
Let's get into it.
Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
What? I had goosebumps going into this fight. Like
I was shaking a little bit.
I was so nervous. I was like, anything could happen. Sean O'Malley could win. Or Chito Vera can pull up a massive upset. And that's exactly what happened. And we even said that in the previous episode. We talked about Chito Vera has a really good chance on winning this fight.
He does. There was the potential there, and you kind of smelled it in the air.
Yeah.
And when you do that, I mean, you kind of have to ride on it. Now, I was chugging along on the train, and I still am, boy. I don't think it slowed down too much. Now, it has a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
The hype is still there with this guy. But for Chito Vera, this is so beneficial for him. And, I mean, if we go back to the previous fight versus Song Yadong, there's a lot of people who believe he won. So these are two big names back-to-back that he took out, well, I wouldn't say took out Song Yadong, but he did good work against both these guys. Oh, yeah. So now it's exciting to see, hey, man, he beat Sean O'Malley in the first round. It's the Cheeto show now. At least that's what he said to Joe Rogan.
Yes. I loved it. He got on the cage and pointed to Joe and was like, this is the Cheeto show now.
It is.
I was like, oh.
Once that fight was over, there was a lot of stuff that was coming out online.
Yes.
Which was really dope to see. The first one was the tweet by Chito Vera after the fight. He said, Connor, Cody, Peter, Henry, you're welcome, with a kissy emoji.
Oh, my God.
That right there was like, okay, I like this guy. Because if you're going to take out Sean O'Malley, and you're going to, this guy he's good on the mic. He has so much juice behind him. You got to bring a little heat with yourself. So this dude came out swinging even after the fight, was like, you're welcome.
You know what? Let me throw this at you. He kind of reminds me of a little bit of George Masvidal, a little bit of Nate Diaz in the lighter weight class. What do you think of that?
He has that swag, that gangster to him, where, I don't know about you, but I hear him cussing all the time.
Oh, like a sailor, bleep, bro.
Bleep, bleep. So this guy, he's entertaining. He's so entertaining.
Yes.
And it's the Cheeto show.
Oh,
I'm tuning in, boy. What channel?
The Cheeto show. And then
pay-per-view.
Dude, following that tweet, Cody Garbrandt said, some people aren't made for war. # sugar free.
Sugar free.
Yo. And then after that, Henry Cejudo, like said, all bark.
Like said, all bark.
Dude.
Okay. Cejudo, come back. All right? We don't want to see you on the sidelines. You're in your prime, dude. Come back. Doing all this talking, doing all this barking.
I know. Are you just hanging the dollar? Just be like, hey, you almost got me back.
He's still the king of cringe, bro. It's what he does. But my thing is, okay, dude, you want to talk about people barking? My boy, you a Chihuahua, because that's all you do is bark. All right, and this is out of love, bro. I just want to see you fight, man. That's all. I just want to see you fight.
Isn't him versus Cheeto?
Get it done.
Get it done. But
UFC, Sean Shelby, Dana White, pay the man.
So Henry Cejudo, did he leave just because of the money?
No, I think he
said he was retiring, but I mean, he keeps on talking about every fight in his division. He just keeps on putting out tweets every single time, and I'm like, dude, do you want to come back, or is this just more for the hype? Of course
he does. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to turn down. Everybody has a price. Whether you're retired or not, everybody has a price. I don't think Henry Cejudo will turn down a price, the right price, for a fight with, Division Figueiredo to go down.
Go ahead, man. Yeah, you said it a lot better than me.
Yeah. Once again, I apologize. Figueiredo, he'll go down for that if the money's worth it. But we're talking about flyweight, so I don't think the money's there. He'll go up.
But hold up. But Sean O'Malley had so much hype, and I think Cheeto now got some of that.
Most of it.
So any fight with Cheeto in that division now,
that's going to be a good draw.
Do you think Cheeto jumps all the way to fight for the belt next?
No.
You think he has one more fight before he gets there? Yeah. That's what I thought.
Now, Sean O'Malley, if he would have knocked out Cheeto Vera, it would have been a different outcome for what would have been in place. But since it didn't happen that way, they're going to continue to, I think, give this guy good competition, but not give this guy somebody that's going to put him out. I think they'll definitely kind of push him a little bit, because when you take out the Sugar Show, they got to see you make it to the top now.
The Sugar Show's corner, Sean O'Malley's corner, said that, it was an early stoppage. Now, what do you think about that? Because I know we have different views on this, maybe.
Okay, so I believe it was an early stoppage. I think these are things that, he could have took a lot more damage on the ground, but I think he would have been able to try to maybe pull guard, get him in close, ride it out a little bit, and then, hop, maybe start the next round, hop back. He probably wouldn't have won that fight either which way, but I didn't like the stoppage. It made me uncomfortable. I think there's, especially in this time right now where there's too many early stoppages, I feel you kind of have to let fights go on just a little longer. I think I don't know. Yeah, they say it's better to stop it early than late. As a consumer of the product, I never enjoy when it's done too early. I would prefer it to be done just a little too late, and not to where it's damaging to the health, Now, if somebody's getting hurt and they're getting put out, yes. But, in this instance, he wasn't, eyes rolled back to his head. He was just covering up because he was hurt.
All right, so I see it totally different. I think Cheeto Vera landed that beautiful kick to the calf and damaged some kind of nerve, because he didn't have did you see the updates? He didn't have
it's still swollen, but there's no
broken, no fractures,
no bone breakage. But they have to see if the ligaments are torn.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
I don't think so either.
I don't know. I'm just saying I don't think they are. I think he might have hit a nerve and probably slept his leg or something.
I've broken my ankle before.
Yeah.
And the nerves and everything did not heal 100%. So there's times where my ankle does give out on me. Maybe it's something that had happened in his past where, he doesn't have 100% of stability on that. I don't know. There's so many factors that come into play, but we cannot take away what Cheeto Vera did to him. No,
because after that, obviously you saw the pain that Sean O'Malley was going through, and he couldn't put a lot of pressure on his leg. Cheeto Vera saw that, took him to the ground, landed that elbow, bro. I don't know if it was me. I heard some kind of weird moan out of Sean O'Malley after that.
Yeah.
I was like, he got hit with the elbow, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, you can hear the air kind of deflated out of the balloon.
So I do not believe that was an early stoppage when, someone is going,
I mean, yeah, they make noises in there. There's no fans. You're going to hear it. I think it could have just went on just a little longer, Herb.
I don't know, man. I think but doing that, I think it saved Sean O'Malley, because now we're having this discussion. We have two opposite views.
That's why they stopped it early.
No, but still, Cheeto won, got the hype behind him, and
they stopped it early. No, I'm just kidding. To each his own. We once again, I'm the kind of guy who needs glasses. So I may not see things quite how everybody else sees it, but hey, we're all entitled to our own opinions. I think they did protect their boy a little bit, and that's fine.
Yeah, because
I just didn't enjoy it.
They can, they can bring back Sean O'Malley. They can probably run this fight back again, and I would love that to see that again.
Yep, I would love to see that.
So then there's the last thing. It was a tweet by Sugar Sean
himself.
Simple. Kept it simple. He said, humbled. That's it. And I think that was the perfect quote, the perfect thing to release. It's like,
in the last podcast, my biggest thing for him was how's he going to handle himself in defeat. I think he handled himself very well. He didn't, respond unprofessionally. But what really stood out to me, because I watched a little DC and Ariel Helwani earlier, and DC obviously is not on there, but they had Ben Askren on. And Ben Askren made a statement stating that I would have pushed the person away who brought the stretcher, and I would have limped to the back.
Yeah.
And that to me was like, whoa. But it does stand out because it's like, you know what? That makes sense. That's the fighter mentality. No. I'm fine. I'm going to get to the back. But then again, could have been the UFC just protecting their boy. Here, no, we got you. Just sit down. We'll take you out. I don't know. It was just so funny to me when he said that. I'm like, whoa, that's a different angle to look at. I never really thought about that part of it. But he said, no, I would have pushed the person away trying to take me out in a stretcher.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ben Askren was knocked out cold and
he got
walked out.
He should have been carried out with a stretcher.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I'm very, very excited to see Sean O'Malley's next fight.
Do you think it was because he bleached his hair? Colored it?
Oh, I think Cheeto was pissed when he did that.
It's just a bold move.
Yeah. I think you mentioned on the second episode.
I did. I was like, there's ill intent behind there. I truly feel that.
Yeah.
It's a bold move. Hey, to each his own.
To each their own. Well, that wraps up the co-main event, but let's go on to the main event.
Oh, my God.
Dude, Stipe wins.
Sup with it? I told you, bro. I told you.
Bro, this could have gone either way. I had it 2-2 going into the...
I'm just so happy. As you can see, almost all of the fights didn't go my way, so the ones that did, I'm proud of.
Man,
I was a flopper on with the Salsa Yoder fight.
Well, man, the entire main card, my heart was pounding.
It was such a good fight.
DC,
2-2 into the fifth.
Sean O'Malley, Chito Vera. Like, dude, the last three fights, my heart was pounding. I was like, I don't know if my heart can take this any longer, man. We're going to the DC Stipe fight, and I'm like, I'm sweating. My hands are sweating.
It was intense, but that's what we want in those UFC fights, especially when you're going into the main event, because you already had a successful night. You feel good, about how the night has went up until this point, and then when that fight starts, it's just, especially the significance of what was happening there. You can, and I love it that there's no fans right now because you just feel everything. You hear everything. You see everything.
I was so invested into it. Like I could, I
extremely
tried not to blink because I felt like I was going to miss something. And what was it? The second round when DC gave Stipe the eye poke.
It was, I believe, the second round. I can't lie to you. I just remember seeing the end, and I was just like, yes, so relieved. And then after, you just get so excited. So my memory is not 100% there. I don't remember exactly what round it was, but it was such a vicious eye poke that No. I think it was later. It had to.
No, it's.
I think it was in
Stipe got the first eye poke, and then Stipe and the third got DC, and that was the
yes.
So I mean, I wish I didn't have to see the eye pokes, but they do happen, and
especially when Stipe and DC fight.
Yeah, but DC's eye poke was so bad, man. I felt really bad for her because that was almost like a Michael Bisping type of.
It could have been an exact scenario.
Exactly, where you lose an eye.
And how sad would that be on your final fight, on your way out, right before retirement, right before you start your commentating career?
Yeah.
That would be such a devastating blow. Now, from what I read on the updates of his injury...
Oh, well, let's go after.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll go straight into the post-fight. This is from MMA Junkie, and this is DC getting interviewed. He says, I mean, look at my eye. I can't even effing see the rest of the fight. I can't see anything out of my left eye. It's black. It doesn't matter though. Whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is.
You know what you sign up for when you go in there. Eye pokes, whether they're accidental or not, they can happen.
Yeah.
Especially when those two fight each other. That's just, they have that style where they hands are open. I mean, they're reaching. They're trying to grab for the clinch. Yeah. They want the back of your neck. The only way to do that is to, get.
And it happened so fast where the referee was telling DC was telling the referee, "Hey man, Stipe poked me
in the eye,"
and
he's the referee, like, "Sit down, Daniel."
Yeah, he said, "Sit down." It was a punch, and afterwards, Mark Garter said,
immediately after the fight, when seeing the replay, I apologize to Daniel and his team, and I do so publicly and unreservedly for missing what I shouldn't have. But I cannot call what I do not see. I do not have replays in multiple angles. It's a one-shot take in real time. That was Mark Goddard apologizing for Stipe Miocic's eye poke to Daniel Cormier and to his team.
Yeah. Man, I actually like Mark Goddard saying this publicly because, like, hey, man, yeah, I did mess up. I did miss that. I didn't see that during the fight. And, like, even watching it, it happened so fast because I didn't even catch it until DC said it. And then on the replay, I was like, oh, my God, wow, that really was knuckle deep.
It's hard because, that job is so difficult to be in there and to, call those things. And I think what really just stood out to me the most was that I cannot call what I do not see. He didn't see it. He's not going to believe Cormier just because he said that. Doesn't matter how, respected of a fighter you are. You don't get to tell the referee what he sees and what he don't see. That's him.
Yeah.
So I liked Mark Goddard's response into that. He did acknowledge I missed it, but I didn't see it.
Dude, did you... I think the eye pokes definitely played a part in the loss of DC.
There's a lot of factors that played into the loss.
Well, yeah. Also, I mean, I can't even say that because Stipe also got poked, so it's like...
he had a torn cornea as well.
Yeah.
And that's why the third fight took so long to happen, because there was that and then the pandemic. So that's the thing. It's like, these things happen when these two fight. Yeah. I honestly didn't expect anything else. I didn't expect it to be so severe, but I did expect something to happen to where...
It could be a controversial win.
Where it could be a controversial win, where there's something there where somebody can say, oh, but this happened. And I really don't like that because it sucks, because everything else that happened prior, doesn't get acknowledged, because Stipe was putting the work in. I mean, they both were. It was 2-2 going into the fifth round.
Well, they both got rocked. Stipe got rocked in the first round by the same right that he got knocked out in the first fight.
It was there.
And that right hand was landing the entire night, dude.
Yeah. It was entire night. But Stipe knew what was coming, so I think that's where he was able to push through
at the end of the second round, Stipe had was on top of him and up against the cage, and I thought it was going to be over. To be honest, I thought in the third round, I was like, oh, DC's about to get knocked out.
Yep. Yeah, it was one of those like, you just don't know how this is going to turn out, and then they got through it, though. They got through it.
So many emotions going into this fight, up and down, roller coaster, man. It was crazy.
That's how we like it.
After the fight, we have obviously after the fight, so many fighters comment on it.
Yeah,
we have Francis Ngannou saying, "Great performance to both guys." Clapping emoji. Congrats to Stipe on the performance. See you soon. Ngannou versus Stipe 2.
I love it.
Oh my god! And I think that's the right fight for Stipe next.
Yeah, it has to be. Ngannou's earned that right, and Stipe now has to defend the belt against the guy who earned the right to take it.
Early picks. Who you got?
Stipe.
I got him.
Yeah, he's the GOAT, dude.
I like Stipe. I'm not. I feel like I always pick against him.
He's the GOAT.
But I think Ngannou might get it the second time.
He really might. I don't know. I mean, he's great. I just feel he's like one of those guys that's just going to stay right at the top, but just not get over that hump. But then again, I've been wrong before. Yeah. I will be wrong again. Who knows? I might be right. I might be wrong.
Dude, goosebumps for the second one, because I know it's not going to be like the first one. The first one was they were hesitating.
Both.
And then Ngannou gassed out after the first. He had no more gas in his tank. He didn't take Stipe serious.
Yeah.
And the wrestling of Stipe just dominated that whole fight. So I think Ngannou made those adjustments to have the fight stand and bang. And I don't even know. I think Ngannou's not going to be afraid to go after him now. He's going to go balls to the wall and just sprint.
I can agree with that, but I still think Stipe is just the more well-rounded fighter. He has, I don't know, he has so much tools in his arsenal that I just see him getting it done. But this is an early prediction.
Oh, this is an early prediction.
Before they weigh in, before anything, the lead up to the fight, we haven't seen how their fight camps are going to be. This is fresh off 252. So, early prediction, I got Stipe.
Yeah, early prediction, I got Ngannou. But we'll see.
Now, somebody else responded right after the fight. And this was awesome. Johnny Bones Jones tweeted in different segments, Heavyweight World Championships, I will be seeing you real soon. Victorious. Which I like.
Yes, and then he said right after that, he said, this is exciting for me. For some reason, these heavyweights don't seem so big to me tonight.
Well, that's because he already put the smackdown on DC, and he has to cut to get to 205. So they're really not that big compared to John Jones. But the last tweet, avoid Stipe's right hand. I'm too fast. I'll be too strong when the time is right and have way too much energy. Soon and very soon, I'll be considered the baddest man on the planet. Boy.
Dude.
Snaps, boy.
Now this is
game planning.
This is the thing. Stipe just won, and we both agree Ngannou should get the next run.
Of course.
And then you have Curtis Blades versus Derek Lewis. So then they would get the next shot after Ngannou, I feel. Like, how is Jones going to leap over them?
Well, he would have definitely been able to do so if he was still the light heavyweight champion. But as of today, he gave that up. So that now leads me to believe he's going to fight a heavyweight fight that is not for a championship first. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, no, I like that too, because that he's getting his toes wet in that division.
Plus the UFC, although they don't have the best relationship with John Jones, they're not going to throw him into something where he's going to not have potential to be successful. Because John Jones' success is the UFC success. Let's get that straight.
Yes. And then
let's get that out there.
Let's throw this out. Stipe Ngannou, because we both agree that's going to be next. Let's say Ngannou wins. Ngannou versus Jones.
There's so many angles, and that's why I like that Stipe won the belt, and it wasn't Cormier, because then at that point it's like, who you throw back in there? Let's just say Cormier won, relinquishes the belt. Stipe and Ngannou. That you have to make that fight.
Yeah.
That has to be the fight that's next.
Or they could have set up Jones, Stipe.
I don't like it. No, I wouldn't like it.
But obviously everything worked out for a reason. Like it played out the way it should have played out then.
Right. And right place, right time,
yeah,
right event, right scenario. I truly feel
but that is then the conversation of Jones versus Adesanya goes out the window now.
Well, that was just one of those fantasy type of conversations anyways, right?
They were going back and forth last year.
But this is what Adesanya does. He shoots, right? He wanted the Anderson Silva fight, shot a shot, got it.
Yeah.
Right? So he's headhunting. He wants these big-name fights. He's getting in the prep work. He's putting in that promo time to get that fight to happen. I don't see it happening now that Jones gave up the belt, is going to go up to heavyweight.
I don't see that again.
I honestly don't see. Now, if Adesanya can get up to heavyweight.
Or light heavyweight.
I don't see Jones going back down. I don't see John Jones going back down.
If Adesanya goes to light heavyweight, I think they would do that fight.
It'd have to be for a title.
It would be champ versus champ. Oh, my God, dude. Should I just work for the UFC again? Dude.
As a matchmaker?
Yeah, we'll get into the whole
Sean Shelby, don't you need a day off? Don't you need a day off?
We'll talk about the whole Adesanya and Jones thing later on, but it's Jesus, man, the potential of so many good fights. Anyway,
the UFC has so much potential to make good fights. I mean, great content. Yes. But to get back to the news on Daniel Cormier's injury, he did suffer a torn cornea last night. He had mentioned to Ariel Helwani in the morning time. There's no timetable yet for his recovery. That's really
all the news we got.
That's really kind of concerning because you want to make sure that he's good. He can see out of that eye. You want to make sure he's able to make a full recovery. So I wish him the best. I hope that he's able to bounce back from this and continue to have a successful commentating career. We don't want to see him disappear. We just want to see him outside. I just want to see him. Let's speak for myself. I want to see him outside of the cage. I want to see him off to the side talking about
fights. Because either way, he said this was his last fight, win, lose, or draw. And he does phenomenal work outside the cage.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does the detail segments on ESPN.
Yep.
That was created by Kobe.
Rest in peace. Bro.
And Kobe, went to DC. He was like, hey, man, this is your show. Make it for the fighter that needs that little extra.
Isn't it crazy how that happened?
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was watching this whole thing, and DC was like, "Oh, what should I put? Like, give me some advice." Kobe said, "Nope, this is all you, man. Think about the person that wants to be the champion. Give him those little notes to win a fight, or little details that fighters can pick up when they watch."
That gives me the chills, man, because Kobe was just such a leader. Everybody turns to him, "Hey, tell me how to do this, man. You're the greatest," and he's just like, you figure it out.
Yeah.
You do it. You find it out. I think there was that one commercial. They're like, hey, Kobe, how do we do this? And he just looked back and was just like, you do it kind of thing. I can't remember the exact commercial, but it was something along those lines where Kobe's just like, you got it in you, you could be a GOAT.
Yeah. Well, to DC, thank you for the many years of amazing fights. We wish you all the best in your post-fight career.
Yeah, the ups, the downs, man. We've been there to witness it all. We love it. We appreciate you. Every time you step in that ring, you give something that you cannot take back. So thank you so much for entertaining us all, for giving us something to look forward to.
Yes.
You're a GOAT.
Yes, and we love you, man. Remember, I picked you, so.
Just had to throw that out there, huh?
I did, man. All right, here we go with so many fight announcements this weekend.
Dude, the news was just flowing like a river today.
Seriously, man. So, first fight for August 29th, we have Smith versus Rakic.
I'll take that.
Rakic? I believe I'm saying that right.
Number 6 ranked guy versus the number 5 ranked guy.
Yeah.
So, that's really good. I believe 6, right?
Yeah, and this is going to be a UFC fight night, August 29th.
8, excuse me.
Smith is number 5 in the light heavyweight division, and Rakic is number 8. So, should be an interesting fight. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, this is definitely good for Anthony Smith. Let's see what you can do. Can you bounce back from losing to John Jones? And he beat Gustafsson, no?
No.
Lost to Gustafsson. So this is bounce back season. Let's see what you can do against the top ranked guy. He's in the top 10. So I'm excited for that. And it's at the Apex. I love when those fights are at the Apex.
Yeah. Next up, we have a welterweight, September 19th, Cerrone versus Price.
It's the original BMF. I stand by that.
And is this Cerrone's first fight since the McGregor loss?
Yes.
Is it? He didn't fight Showtime Pettis after this, right?
Yes.
He did fight after McGregor, right?
I'm not 100% positive. I was just going to ride with your confidence, bro.
I'm not 100% sure if this is Cerrone's first fight since McGregor or since Anthony Pettis. I always get those two fights mixed up. So let's pull that up. But yeah, I'm excited to see Donald Cerrone coming back.
He did fight Pettis.
That was his last fight? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was at UFC 249, and McGregor was UFC 246, and that was January 18th.
This guy always just fights back to back to back to back.
So he's coming off 2 losses on that fight.
Which is tough for the guy.
Yeah. And Nico Price,
he's staying
Price is no joke, though.
He's not. And so that's where, especially at that weight class, this is something for Cerrone to bounce back, to prove to everybody that he can still do these things.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think in the last podcast I had mentioned, we want to see him face these guys, these young dogs, to prove that he can still get it done. Mm-hmm. And I like this fight. This is awesome to see. I'm tuning in. I love Cowboy.
Yeah, Cowboy's awesome, man. Love him, man. He's. I
remember when I was at the UFC 214 event. Remember when we were standing outside?
Oh yeah.
And we saw these motorcycles rolling in. We're like, bro, who's making all that noise? And then Cowboy hops off, and we're like, oh, snaps, bro.
So it was a bunch of motorcycles, and if I'm not mistaken, there wasn't
like that trike, that 3-wheeler.
The slingshot.
Slingshot.
I believe he was driving that.
That fool was sick, man. He pulled up, made an appearance, and it was so cool because that was my first UFC event, and to see like, oh my God, dude, this dude he's pulling up to fight somebody right now, and he's just got no care in the world. He's just living life, loving it, pulling up, handling business, making some bread, and bouncing out.
Yes, man. Yes. Well, we're excited to see that fight September 19th. Next up is UFC is working on booking a light heavyweight bout between Dominic Reyes and John Blachowicz for UFC 253 on September 26th. Now,
convenient.
That just came out today with all this breaking news of John Jones.
How convenient,
right? It's almost like they knew that was going to
happen. This is my outlook of it. The UFC's been in talks with John. We need you to fight Dominic Reyes. He's ready to go. He deserves a rematch. We need you to fight him. We're not going to offer you any other fight. And he's like, I want the money. Don't even hit my phone unless you got the money. And they're like, look, we're going to either take the belt from you or you give it up, and then we're going to make this fight happen. And then you can decide what you want to do on the sidelines. And then maybe if you go to heavyweight, we'll negotiate with you.
This is a very exciting fight for Dominic Reyes, guys. I gave him the win over Jones slightly, but I didn't understand why Dominic Reyes took off 2 rounds. He's like, listening to his post fight conference after that fight, he's like, I won the first 3, and I just want to take the next 2 off. I'm like, dude, you're going for the belt. Like, why?
Especially in the 4th and the 5th, those are championship rounds.
Yeah,
you have to turn it on.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody knew John was going to do it, but you didn't put him out, so you got to turn it on.
Yeah, so.
But yes, I'm biased. I'm a John Jones fan. I'm sure you guys have picked that up over the last couple of podcasts. I've made paintings of him. It's my dog. So just that fight broke my heart because, it made me believe John Jones has to go up to light heavyweight. And up to heavyweight. And now that he did that, it just kind of solidified to me he doesn't want to fight Dominic Reyes again.
Dude, Dominic Reyes is a beast in that division, and
from Victorville, that's just right up the street.
I was just gonna bring that up. I'm like, dude, we could. That's like what 20 minutes away from the studio.
Yeah, I would say maybe solid 30 because traffic and the freeway and the construction. But with that being said, right around the corner.
Right around the corner, and I picked Dominic Reyes to win on that fight.
Yeah, I pick him too. To me, this is Dominic Reyes' first title defense in my eyes.
Yeah, because
the fact that John Jones has now vacated the belt, that just kind of solidified. Like, hey, this is Dominic Reyes' belt. Now it's up to John to, take it away.
UFC 253 is going to be so exciting because I have a feeling Dominic Reyes and John Blachowicz. I'm butchering the name, but that will be the co-main event. Now let's hit. What's the main event that just got announced this weekend?
Adesanya versus Paulo Acosta.
Dude. Oh my God. I cannot wait. I saw Paulo Costa versus Romero in Anaheim, and I had Costa winning that fight because I was there live, and I was like, yo, Costa won that fight easily.
Yeah, we were having a discussion off camera because I had just rewatched this fight because they posted it on YouTube, a free fight of this last Adesanya and Costa. Romero and Costa fight. And I was watching it, and we were having discussions about it because, once again, we have 2 different pair of eyes. In some people's eyes, there's a lot of controversy to where, Romero won that fight. This guy was there live. He's seen it.
Yes.
He believes it was the other way where Costa won that fight.
Not only that, on the analytics of what the punches being thrown, kicks being thrown, Costa was up on all those above Romero. So,
yeah, and those are key factors to the fight. Yeah, I mean, it's just the scoring system, once again, is just so difficult because it can be biased in one area and be unbiased in another, and that can lead to scoring being marked different. But
I didn't know how it looked on TV, but I was there live, and I 100% thought Costa won that fight.
There's nothing like the real life feel, so I will defer to you in that where you got the real life feel. You were there, and we all know what your eyes can see, bro.
Yeah,
you've seen this whole vision coming. So,
early picks. Who do you got on this fight?
Woo, snaps. Okay, I'm taking Adesanya.
Now this is
I like the champ defending the belt.
Now this is what I see. I see precision and speed versus brutal power.
Yeah, and aggression.
And maybe this is not going to be a popular opinion, but I think Costa could win this fight.
I think this is one of those pick'em fights too.
You think so? Yeah,
I do.
I could definitely see Adesanya winning this. Like, picking his shots from the outside.
Style, man, the style that he fights, and he also is a master at mind warfare. So he can get into Acosta's head. There's just something about when you make somebody so angry. You have something over him.
What did Adesanya say to Costa?
You're an inflated Enrique Iglesias.
No.
Ricky Martin.
No, not Ricky Martin. Ricky Ricardo from the I Love Lucy show.
No, he said Ricky Martin. And then he said, I'm about to make you look like Ricky Martin. Botched.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yes,
He did.
He did. So, I mean, I agree with that statement.
Dude, I'm so excited for this.
I agree with that statement.
I do not think this is going to be a boring fight whatsoever because Costa pushes forward every fight.
Dana White feels this is going to be the fight of the year. And there's been so many contenders this year for fight of the year. I don't know. We have to see.
Yes, man. I cannot wait. September 26th for this fight.
That's a good day.
That's going to be a great card, man.
So we know what we're doing.
Watching that fight, man. I knew nothing else. Yeah. Well, continuing the fight announcements. October 3rd, Oliveira versus Dariush for the lightweight fight. Belt.
Isn't this...
Dariush just landed the spinning back forearm.
Isn't this good for Dariush where he's getting a guy, it's not a number one contender, it's not a title shot, but this is, if he puts Oliveira out in a manner like he's been putting these other guys out, it's going to be so hard to keep arguing with this guy.
Yeah,
you have to give him at least somebody in the top 3, top 5.
Easily. Dariush is putting in work, and I like it. I like this fight. It's not so much higher up in the rankings, but it's like you're claiming the ladder here.
It just depends on how he wins, though. If he wins by a decision, slows the train down a little bit. I think he has to win in these knockout manners where he continues to say, hey, stop giving me these guys.
I see this more ending in a submission than a knockout. Because Oliveira...
I can see that too.
Oliveira also strikes. They both strike, but I think both of them are really good or a lot better on the ground.
Yeah, I can definitely see where this fight, where they're going to be striking for, the first, couple minutes, filling each other out. But then once somebody keeps landing these blows, it's going to go down to the ground. They're going to start to grapple a little bit. I can definitely see that.
I could see it more being a grappling match.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
A very high-level grappling match, though.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. On that same card, we have another huge
this is
fight.
What I'm excited for right here.
Number 2 ranked Holly Holm versus number 5 ranked Aldana.
I got Aldana all day on this one.
I'm taking her too. Now, Holly Holm is the second ranked, bantamweight contender. But there's just something about this Aldana girl this woman that she brings something to the table, man. It's like
her striking. Well, not saying that Holly Holm doesn't have striking. She literally comes from a boxing background. So
she's a striker.
This is going to be a pure striking fight. I do not believe these girls are going to go to the ground whatsoever. This is going to be fireworks.
Yeah, purely fireworks for sure.
This one I do not see being boring whatsoever. I'm super excited to see this fight.
No, this is great, man. This is just... I keep these fights coming. Like, the fight news that's been being put out lately is just so exciting.
Yes. I do believe whoever wins this will get Amanda Nunes, though.
They deserve to. Because, honestly, it's like, at that division, there's really not too many fights to make for Nunes because she's such a GOAT. Like, undisputed. Yeah. It's really hard to find some competition for her, but this Aldana woman has some good striking.
Good, really good.
So does Holly Holm, though. So I mean,
and I do believe if Holly Holm wins or Aldana wins, well, let's speak about Holly Holm first. If Holly Holm wins and gets that second fight with Amanda Nunes, I do believe she will be a lot more. I want to say careful. I guess you would say because she got caught with that leg kick when she just hesitated.
Yeah.
So I do believe she will be more alert.
Should be willing to pull the trigger.
Exactly. I think she would be more willing to go after it.
Yeah, she was real hesitant in that previous fight that she just had, and you can kind of see a little trigger shy. She's gonna have to pull it out.
Well, yeah, because when she got knocked out by Amanda Nunes, I believe she picked up her leg and was kind of hesitating to maybe throw it to the body or something, and Amanda Nunes just freaking said, "Nope, no hesitation, just kick to the face. That's it."
Yeah, but if she wins in a good manner, she can go right back and deserves a shot to try and take that back. But I don't see anybody beating Nunes.
You don't think so? Hey, man, if Aldana wins,
I don't see her beating Nunes either.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Those are your words, man. I'm rooting for
early
Aldana.
Prediction on Aldana versus Nunes.
Yeah,
I'm taking Nunes. The champ is here.
Yeah, man. Nunes is really good, but I want to see how Aldana,
she
does with Holmes.
Change my mind.
If Aldana knocks out Holly Holm viciously,
yeah, it can change my mind.
Yeah,
because at this point on this day, which is August 17th, I truly don't see any competition for Amanda Nunes. Now, October 3rd, that can change.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for October 3rd. So,
yeah.
And then the final fight announcement, which is for heavyweight, October 31st, Hardy versus Green.
This is spooky.
It's funny because it's on Halloween.
This is on Halloween, so this is literally trick or treat, boy. Yes. I'm excited for this. I've been following Green since the Ultimate Fighter days, and I've been following Greg Hardy since the Contender Series, and it's really cool to see these two match up because they both have the ability to shoot to the top, to escalate there quickly. They just got to put in that work. Greg Hardy is a knockout artist, where Maurice Green has a lot of stylistic advantages that he can bring to this fight. I love it, dude.
Yes, and it's funny because Green, when he fights, I'm like, oh, he could win. He could, it's very like he's climbing the rankings. Like
he's still developing too.
Yeah, exactly, that's the word I was going to use.
He's developing, like he's evolving into a more well-rounded fighter. He's not just a striker. He's he's able to get you down to the ground and. If I'm not mistaken, he likes beer. I hope he's willing to try some Ringside beer.
Oh, yes, man. And then Hardy, man, he's climbing up the rankings like a freaking firework and just knocking out everybody. He did lose. Yeah, he did lose his previous fight. What was it? Slow down, man. But Hardy, he came from the NFL, right?
Yes.
He had some legal problems, but he got a second chance in the UFC and has been making every opportunity.
Yeah, he's been making every opportunity of it. So he lost to Yorgan de Castro.
No, he won.
He won. Excuse me.
Yeah, go down to the more fighters. He did lose to
Alan Croder.
There we go.
That was what it was.
Because it was disqualification. It was, I believe, a knee.
Yeah, it was an illegal. It was an illegal shot, and when he threw it, everybody looked at him and were like, bro, we know that is not okay.
Yeah.
It's just, that guy, when he fights, he goes into just a whole other world where that switch is flipped, and the only way to stop this guy is to be on the canvas, so, which I love.
His interviews, he's so nice.
He's
so polite and so nice, and then yet when he gets in the cage, I'm like, dude, you're not the same dude.
Yeah, But you have to go in there with that killer mindset, man. It's kill or be killed. It's the zone of death.
Yes, man. Dude, amazing upcoming fight announcements, man.
Who do you got?
Hardy. I think Hardy is a little bit more of a heavy hitter, to be honest.
Yeah, my emotions say Green because I'm a little biased towards the guy. I really like him. He reminds me a lot of John Jones, but as a heavyweight. But I'm going to have to pick Hardy, too.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just see those hands are just heavy. Now, he can push through. He's going to close the distance.
And this is early picks, man. You know what?
We haven't seen the weigh-ins.
I need to see the weigh-ins because that determines so much when we make our picks, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into these fights beforehand. I like to see the vlogs. I like to see the embeddeds. Gives you a little more idea of, like, where that fighter's at that point. Kind of, you just feel a little more energy for, who you think's going to win. Is
he struggling with the weight cut? Is there some issue, something? Like, you can pick these things up from embedded. There's certain emotions that fighters just give out unwillingly, so.
Yeah.
But this is heavyweight, so I doubt there's going to be no weight cutting issue.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think it's more along the lines of, if they can just have a good, well-rounded fight camp in the realm of living in this time of, COVID, how can they get a good fight camp in like they need to?
Yeah, and then COVID is throwing this freaking wrench to every fighter, so
yeah.
It's the normally
which is fair across the board. Not everybody has the same opportunity to get in, but everybody does have the hiccup of having to
go through the COVID,
make changes. Yeah, exactly.
Make weight during COVID and
to adapt to these, things that we're dealing with. Yeah. So with that being said, it is kind of fair across the board. Like, hey, we're all dealing with something, so can't be an excuse.
Now, to wrap up 252. What was your favorite fight of the night?
It had to have been the heavyweight fight with Stipe and DC. Now, I was so excited for the Sean O'Malley fight and Chito Vera fight, but I was more pumped to see the end of the trilogy. I wanted to just solidify who is going to be the greatest of all time and open up the floodgates for what's going to happen in the heavyweight division. Yes, if Sean O'Malley won and he knocked out Chito Vera, it would have been great for the division, but it does not overwhelm what is at stake at the heavyweight division, at the light heavyweight division, for the UFC in general.
Yeah.
There's just more stakes.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I loved all those fights. But I have to go with Fight of the Night, which was the very first opening fight, man.
It was a good one.
Those guys put it all on the line. It was back and forth. That was my fight. Even though, trust me, I had the same emotions going to the heavyweight fight. And it, after watching the fight, yes, it was still a great fight. I just think the very first fight of this card, was it Kawaka?
Kelly.
Kelly. And
just goes to show you gotta watch from the early prelims all the way to the last fight, because you can see these, contenders, these guys that are just coming up, putting in work, man. Yes. Because they're not, at this point, they're not prize fighters. They got stuff to prove. They want the belt. They want to make that money. They're not making that much money if they're fighting on the early prelims, so they got to start knocking dudes out. They got to start making a name for themselves. Watch the early prelims, guys.
Yeah, and
seriously,
that was my fight of the night. After watching everything, obviously, trust me, I was excited for the co-main event. Chito Vera, I was super excited when he won. I was like, holy smokes, different emotions. But
yeah, it was good to see. I mean, it was a win-win for me either which way, because it was good for the division. Yeah,
but just for fighting, I think my favorite fight was the very first fight of the card. So.
I just enjoyed it. Just 2-2 going into the fifth. It was such a close fight with Stipe and DC. Yeah, I was chewing my nails off. Don't got any more. It was that good. It was just like,
my leg was twitching watching that fight.
You could drink any type of energy drink, and it ain't going to give you that same boost of energy as watching that fight.
Dude, goosebumps, butterflies, whatever you can name. That's what I was getting in that main event. But the first fight was Fight of the Night for me, man. Those two guys put in work. Yeah. It was back and forth, and dude, I was happy with whoever won. It was just an amazing fight to watch.
Yeah, I was content either which way. It meant didn't mean too much to me who won. I just wanted to see a good fight, and that's exactly
those
what
two guys delivered, man.
Yeah, well, they really did. Let's talk about some of the fights that are coming up this weekend.
This week, man. We got 3 great fights. First off, Friday, August 21st, we have Bellator coming back, I believe, right?
Yeah. Which is so good. We need that. We need the competition. We want more action. We want to see more fights.
Yes.
Especially this one.
And this one's going to be Friday, August 21st on DAZN. Bader versus Numaka?
I would say Nemkov.
We'll go with that.
That's my way of saying it. Feel free to correct me in the comments below.
Dude, I'm butchering all these names.
Hey, bro,
I feel bad for these guys.
you gotta shoot your shot. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So
exactly. So
spit it, and we'll get.
So that's this Friday, August 21st.
That's going to be at 10 p.m. Central.
Well, 10 p.m. East Coast, 9 p.m.
10 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
So that means it's 7 o'clock where we're at.
Yes.
Which is cool, because 10 o'clock is a little late for guys like us.
Yes. I'm getting old, man.
I'm a young man with an old soul, because I will not say I'm getting old yet, bro.
Now, Saturday, we have 2 events. One boxing, one MMA.
There's a lot of hype with this one.
Dude, boxing. We have Porter versus Formella.
I've seen both these guys fight, and this is definitely something I'm going to tune into because I have not seen so much boxing lately. I miss it. I want it. And keep these title eliminating fights coming.
Yes, and then I believe that was for the IBF and WBC title eliminator, and this is going to be on Fox.
Welterweight.
Yes. Exciting fight. I love Porter. He every fight I've seen, he just throws every punch. Like he does not stop.
He's a solid fighter.
Yeah, his gas tank does not stop from the very first round to the end of the round. He's throwing bombs. Like
he's consistently on the gas. Yes. It just feels like just does not stop. Keeps the pace going.
Very exciting fight.
Is very hard to keep up with, especially with these guys that are trying to make it.
Definitely, I'm definitely going to try and watch this fight. This is a very exciting fight. And I believe it's free on Fox. So
free on Fox, and it's at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So tune in, guys.
Yes, and the next one, Saturday, August 22nd, we have Munoz versus Edgar, right?
Yes. Now, the original co-main event got removed from this card, so that's a little tough. But I'm still going to tune in. I'm so pumped to see what Frankie Edgar can do at bantamweight.
Yeah, he's dropping weight in this one, so I'm actually nervous for Edgar.
Yeah, it usually concerns me when people go down in weight.
Yeah, because I don't know if he's going to be depleting his power. I mean, Munoz knocked out Cody Garbrandt, lost his fight before that to Sterling, or he just lost to Sterling. The fight before that was Cody Garbrandt, and he knocked out Cody Garbrandt. So
yeah, and it's crazy because Garbrandt, bounced back and was able to come back, but it seemed like he didn't have a chin for a hot minute. Like that Garbrandt chin was gone. He just was not able to withstand punches. So
a lot of things went into that. It was T.J. Dillashaw with
with the little help.
With a little extra juice.
Help. We're just going to call it help, all right?
Help,
we don't want to kick the guy while he's down, but we're just, preaching facts. I mean, your chin can disappear when somebody's got a little extra help like that. Yeah. But he is able to bounce back. It just concerns me when guys drop down in weight. I mean, when Jose Aldo dropped down against Moraes, it concerned me. I was a little scared.
Yeah.
But he looked really good. Cody Garbrandt's going down in weight. It scares me.
Nervous for that.
I hope he looks really good. Yeah. Frankie Edgar's dropping down in weight. He's one of the vets. I mean, is this good for him? Is it not? I just don't know.
Now, this is the thing. He's been in the game for so long where I'm trying to think. I'm like, is he too old in the tooth for MMA?
I think that chin's gone too.
You think so? You think Munoz is going to get this one?
I think he will. I mean, he's got a lot of
now, granted,
forward movement.
Frankie Edgar has been fighting in a higher weight class, so I don't know. Maybe this is his weight class, bantamweight. Maybe. We don't know. A lot of answers are going to get answered on Saturday. But
yeah, I mean, we're going to have to tune in. Those guys have to step in the cage, lock the door, get down. So I'm excited to see that. This is just purely impulse emotions. I show biases sometimes. I try not to. Yeah. I just don't see it happening for Frankie Edgar. After a while, that chin gets touched, you get worn down. When you start having to make these decisions for your career where you either go up in weight, you go down in weight, there's a lot that goes into it, right? You're usually not doing too well unless you're on a heater, and then that's when you go up or go down to take a belt. But
exactly.
If you're not taking a belt and you're switching divisions like this, I really don't like it too much. It kind of concerns me. So best of luck to Frankie Edgar. I don't like seeing guys ride off on losing streaks. I'll make that clear again. I said it before. I'll say it again. I don't want to see anybody go out on a losing streak. Hurt me when Daniel Cormier lost a little bit. You feel a little for the guy.
Yeah, definitely felt for him.
Man, it sucks. But we're going to see him, very shortly. So I hope Frankie Edgar can pull one out the bag. Best of luck to the guy. If I'm a betting man, I got my money on Munoz.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why he's dropping in weight. I think it's going to deplete him, to be honest.
It's a last-ditch effort.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, seriously, Frankie Edgar, are really hoping to get a win?
Maybe he's one of those guys that is able to lean out and take off some muscle and it not affect him. And maybe he was just one of those guys that had to put on muscle to get to the higher divisions. I don't know. I'm hoping that's the case. Yeah. But realistically, when you see people going down in weight, that they're taking away muscle. That's never a good thing.
And he's a small guy already, dude. Like
weight cuts in general are bad.
And not only that, he's very lean. So
yeah. Where's he going to lose it from?
Also, too, he is getting older. So I'm wondering if he's like, hey, man, I could just drop down the weight. These guys are a little bit too heavy for me now. These up and comers. in his old weight division. So
let me try to take on a smaller guy.
Let me take on a smaller guy, and maybe he thinks that's an advantage for him. So I don't know.
Best of luck.
Best of luck. This is a fight night, so this is going to be on ESPN Plus. It's free if you have ESPN Plus. So
it's gonna scratch your itch just enough to get you through to these next upcoming fights for September and October.
Dude, well, geez, did we cover everything?
Well, probably not everything because there's so much stuff coming out, but we covered everything that we prepped for sure.
Exactly. I think we hit all the big topics, man. I think, Jesus, there was so much. And, man, I was so drained after UFC 252, man. Emotionally, it was just every fight, man. I was just like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Yeah, actually, so we have a projector that we had set up outside where I'd like to watch the fights because we have a pool and we like to spend a lot of time outside, but it was so emotionally draining and it was kind of hot outside that I just had to go inside and spend some time with my fiance actually sitting down and just watching it on her 75-inch screen. It was much more enjoyable in a controlled climate, and I was just so deprived of all my emotions because by the time it got to that main event, I was literally like drained of all the dopamine that my brain can produce.
Exactly, man. Seriously. And I was just like, oh, man, here we go. Another roller coaster.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, we've already hit the incline and the decline a couple times. Like, I thought this ride was coming around to an end, and no, you're dropping it. But it was well worth it.
Well worth it. Lots of fun fights.
And all of this led to us having so much content that we pretty much made the longest podcast that we've had so far. And honestly, man, I felt like this podcast just flew by. We had so much content. The flow was there, boy. We are vibing on a good one. I think now that we've gotten things going and we've gotten some engagement and we're starting to get the process out here, this is just going to be so much more exciting for us to keep putting out this content for you guys. We really appreciate you. Continue to hop along the train of the Ringside beer. We want you guys chugging along with us.
Yes, man.
Because we're only going to start speeding up. So either you hop on the train now or get left behind.
Or you can hop on later, guys.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. You can hop on later. I'm just trying to get you to hop on now.
Right now, guys. We appreciate all the support. Honestly, it's amazing. It's honestly amazing. We love it. We love doing this. I hope that comes across to you guys.
Passion's there.
Seriously, man. Another good episode 3 in the books, man.
Yeah, keep them coming, you guys. We want to be continuing to put out this up-to-date fight content. So today is Monday. We're going to hopefully have it out by tonight. If not tonight, we're going to have it tomorrow morning for you. And don't worry, I'm going to make sure that you know it's out.
Yes.
And then we're going to be right back here Thursday afternoon to get right back to it. See what else is.
Make our MMA picks. Hopefully they're better for this weekend.
You know what? We're going to educate ourselves more. Even though we're pretty educated, we're going to continue to just try and find every angle to make sure that our picks are right, because we want to disclose that our picks are for promotional and entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
Although we want you guys to be doing well,
Yeah, don't bet your house on our picks, guys.
Please. Definitely better dollars too. Yes. We want you guys to, hopefully enjoy the experience with us.
Exactly, man. It's all for fun. It's all for entertainment, and we love you guys, man.
Seriously. Yes, we do. On that note, this is Jason. It's my boy Alex.
Yes.
We're sending you off on episode 3. Tune in for episode 4 coming soon. Ringside Beer Show.
All right, man. Remember, guys, be ringside. There we go, brother. All right. We're out.